What's up, guys? Welcome to TJ Maxx. Today we're having a hot summer deal where you get 25% off all summer blouses. Pretty sweet. I'll be walking you through the store today. My name's Lavaskin. I've got a new trainee with me today as well. You want to introduce yourself?
Hi there, folks. The name's Nico. I'm new around here, so I've got my little employee in training badge on. Please don't be too angry at me. I don't really know the ropes quite yet. Okay, I don't really know the ropes quite yet. So, what do you do at TJ Maxx?
We talk about Hunter x Hunter.
Oh fuck, dude! I can't wait.
Yes, it's a very, very
Honestly?
ingrained TJ Maxx ritual.
Honestly, that sounds like the job for me right there, my man. That sounds like the job for me.
Right? Sit around,
Okay.
talk about a show all day.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Yeah, so as you all may know, we've talked about Hunter x Hunter quite a few times on the channel before, and I'm a pretty big Hunter x Hunter guy. Okay, I'm a pretty big fan. All right. I've indoctrinated all of the other Guapish boys into checking out the show, and finally, Jackson, the anime boy himself, has finally gotten around to watching Hunter x Hunter. Jackson, what took you so long?
I'm lazy. Also, I was very put off by the whole I have to watch like 160 episodes of anime because I'm, again, just really fucking lazy. So whenever I see something like that, I'm like, I'm just never gonna actually finish it. And then I did because I just constantly binge watched it, and it was pretty good.
Okay. Yeah, so you've watched like a lot of anime though, Jackson.
Yes, I watched a significant amount. Not as much as how much I used to watch, but
Yeah.
I watched a lot in total.
Yeah, you've seen like 200 different types of anime at this point, right?
I'm literally loading up my Anime List profile right now to confirm this. I have completed 324.
Fucking hell, dude.
I've dropped 112, so at minimum I've bare witnessed at least 430 of them.
And so at no point, while being in the anime community, you were like, you know what? I'm going to give this Hunter x Hunter thing a shot that people seem to really love.
Correct. I still have like a bunch of like the big shonens I need to watch. Like I haven't even touched Full Metal Alchemist or anything like that. I have 57 shows on my plan to watch list. Will I ever get around to any of them? Probably not, but they're there.
All right, that's something we may need to delve into a bit later, but for now, let's just celebrate the fact that you have seen Hunter x Hunter now. Did you see the original, or did you check out the 2011 version of it?
Of course, I watched the 2011. I watched the first 2 episodes, I think, of the 1998 or whatever it is on YouTube. Very different art style, very different vibe.
Yes.
It's actually kind of cool. I actually want to watch the rest of it because I hear it's very different than 2011 one, so it's not like just repeat content.
Yeah, I mean, they still do go over pretty much all the same stuff. It's the same story and everything, but yeah, definitely the art direction and everything is very, very different. There are quite a few scenes that I think hit a lot stronger in the original version, especially during the York New arc with Kurapika, but we'll eventually get to that. And yeah, it's definitely worth a watch still, I think. Especially if you're going to watch the 2011 version, watching the first few episodes of the original show, I think is definitely worth it due to some stuff that happens later.
Does it go to the Chimera Ant arc, or does it stop at the arc before that?
No, it actually it basically stops at the York New arc.
That's really unfortunate.
Yeah, there is like an OVA, I believe, of the Greed Island, but it's like really bad and everyone fucking hates it.
Classic. I was gonna.
So that basically does not exist.
Yeah, I was gonna say it'd be really cool if it did go into the Chimera Ant arc, specifically just because they choose to show Gon meeting Kite on like episode 1, which you have to wait and see that happen for like 100 fucking episodes. In the 2011 one, you don't even know that this dude exists until the start of the Chimera Ant arc, and that's when you see him. I think it'd be like a cool callback. Like if you're like watching the show, you see him, and then like 100 episodes later, you actually like meet the dude again. Like, oh shit, that's the dude that saved Gon's life.
Yeah, and that is exactly why I think it's a good idea to watch the original just a little bit before you go into the 2011 one, because otherwise you have just no idea who this Kite guy is when he initially appears.
Yeah, it just seemed like some random character they just pulled out of their ass.
Yeah, and then Gon's like, whoa, hang on, I know you!
Yeah. I feel like I didn't have much of an attachment throughout Kite, but I feel like we should also probably start with the the start of the show and work our way through, I suppose. 'Cause I think that's the easiest format.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Sounds Gucci to me. So yeah, the show starts, Jackson. It starts with going on a little island, and then he catches a big-ass fish, and then he's like, all right, I'm going to go become a hunter now.
That he does, and then he goes and tries to become a hunter after he catches the fish, and hilarity ensues.
Exactly. So much hilarity and just manslaughter ensues.
There is a lot of death.
I really like Gon's reasoning for becoming a hunter, because his dad went off and became a hunter, and he was just like, well, if my dad abandoned me, then this hunter thing must be pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very child way of looking at the situation. It's super funny, though. This is also completely unrelated, but this is a very important question. What color is Gon's hair? Is it green or is it black?
I always interpret it as being black. It's just got like a weird kind of green outline to it for some reason.
I see.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of interpret it as being like a super dark green or something like that, but I don't know. I usually just think of it as being black.
It's a very interesting stylist choice. Also, this is another question. Have you watched, or not watched, have you read the manga of this, or have you really seen the anime?
Yeah, so I've seen the anime for the most part. The manga, though, I watched for after where the anime ends, because it does still continue after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my experience. I didn't watch what the anime actually covers for the manga, because like, well, I already know all this shit at this point, so why bother? Why bother, Jackson?
Makes sense.
Yeah, I've already experienced the same story twice. I don't want to experience it a third time, even though it's really good.
Truly. All right, what did you think about the hunter evaluation arc in general?
Yeah, for the whole hunter exams.
Yeah.
I think that they do a fantastic job of just introducing the main boys, you know? Because, like, in most anime, that type of arc where you get established all these characters, you'd think that they'll just be around for the entire show, you know? But no, they most certainly are not. Gon and Kilo are really the only real mainstays of it, with the other boys, Kurapika and Leorio, just kind of popping in every now and then, you know? They're still around, but they're doing their own thing, you know? Their lives do not orbit around Gon.
Yeah, that really threw me off when I got to the end of that arc as well. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah. But just during the arc itself, it does a really good job of establishing just how strange this world is. Because, you know, just like right from the start of it, you have these weird shape-shifting dog people who are like examining you. You have this strange man who walks you down a tunnel who doesn't have a face and seems to just be able to, or not a face, he doesn't have a mouth, and he's just able to like go forever, it seems like, and not break a sweat whatsoever. Which, by the way, have you seen Yu Yu Hakusho at all, Jackson?
I have not, no.
Okay, so that same guy is in Yu Yu Hakusho.
The fuck?
Yeah, fucking that very first coordinator, or whatever they call them, examiner, I don't know. He's from Yu Yu Hakusho, and I think he has a mouth there. It's just the same exact design.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have no idea what exactly to search for this, so I'm not actually going to bother. So, yeah. As you go through that big old tunnel, you get introduced to all these cool new characters, Jackson. All these cool new characters, including a fat dude who's just a total asshole.
Yeah, I literally love that this whole dude's existence is just to be a complete fucking dickhead and ruin it for other people. Like this dude's literally a fucking thrower in a video game. Like you queue up a game of Counter-Strike and this guy's on your fucking team and it's already over from the start.
Yeah.
I question how he got, like, I get he got like a shit ton of attempts at the hunter exam because he did it so many times, but like, how the fuck did he live through it this long, for one? Also, dude's like hella out of shape. How the fuck did he even get past the first stage? That's unrelated though. And
he's got that fit fat thing going, you know?
I guess so. He's wearing a bodysuit, actually. It's just a bluff.
Yeah.
I don't know. His character is weird.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, because despite the very lighthearted tone that this arc has, people are dying left and right the entire time.
Yeah, that caught me really off guard, how easily they're just like, yeah, I'm gonna fucking murder you, you're dead now. And they did. They died.
Yeah, and it's played off very nonchalantly as well. Like, when Hisoka murders a few people, it's like, oh, that's pretty spooky. But then you'll have parts later in the arc where there are folks just like, when they're going for like those eggs or whatever the fuck during the cooking thing, and there are people just like dropping from this cliff and just no one cares.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah, the anime definitely does not like, I don't know, like focus on that like whatsoever. It doesn't really give you the time to think, oh, that's really strange that these people are just dying right now. It's like, oh no, those people are, yeah, sure, they fell, but also Gon got an egg, so that's cool, right? That's pretty cool.
I can't even remember, it's been so long. Did they preface that you can just fucking die at any moment during the Hunter exam, like when they're initially telling people about it? Like, is this widely known? Because I feel like there would not be that many people going into it if they knew it. You could just get fucking murked.
I mean, it's entirely possible that for whatever reason they're being very secretive about that aspect of it. But at the same time, I don't think people would really care that much because of everything you have to gain if you do become a hunter.
Yeah.
That's something they establish pretty early, that if you become a hunter, your life's basically set at that point, okay? You get so many benefits, you're just fine, you're rich at that point.
There's literally less fucking hunters in the world than there are billionaires in our world, I'm pretty sure. There's like 700 hunters or something in the whole ass world, which is insane. Like, that number is kind of hard to comprehend because of, obviously, you're seeing the show through the eyes of Gon. He's constantly encountering other hunters. But, like, they're pretty fucking rare. Like, seeing a hunter in the wild is, like, super, like, incredibly uncommon event, apparently.
Yeah, I just looked it up. There's just a little over 600 people who are hunters.
Yeah, that's an insanely low number.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty fucking wild, dude.
Makes sense, though. How the fuck did a kid get a license? Crazy.
How did several kids get licenses, dude?
Many kids,
They ain't the only ones. Yeah, Gon ain't the only one, okay? He ain't the only one. He's special, but not that special.
Truly.
Yeah. And yeah, so over the course of that whole arc, you just have a grand old time following Gon as he builds these bonds with all these new people. You get to see him as he goes to show off his ingenuity and shit when they have tasks like fucking when they're in that big old tower and they need to make a decision for like, okay, well, if we all want to get through this, how do we do it? Oh yeah, let's just fucking break the wall down so that we can all just pass the hunter exam.
That was pretty funny.
Do you remember? Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought that was quite neat. And yeah, the way that it fucking ends is something that you'll notice throughout the entirety of Hunter x Hunter is how I can't remember, I completely forgot the author's name at the moment, but he just really likes to subvert your expectations. Not in a bad way, like with the fucking Star Wars or whatever, but in a good way, you know? Like here, you think they're gonna have a big old tournament at the very end of it, which is what they kind of set up here. But no, Gon passes out, and then Killua just kills someone, and so the tournament immediately ends.
Yeah, that was pretty strange. Killua not getting the hunter's license was very unexpected to me. Getting it later, though, was not that unexpected. I think the thing I liked the most about the arc was that they show that Gon isn't infallible. Like, with a lot of shonen characters, they always fall into that trope of, like, they're super strong, they've got all these skills, and they're just, like, pretty much just overpowered from the start, and then they just have to learn to, like, use this power.
Yeah.
Gon seems very human through all of this, which I really appreciate. It's kind of a breath of fresh air from a lot of other shonens I've seen. Like, the dude,
yeah, like,
he has a lot to work for. He's got spirit, but he still gets fucking dropped by like 3 different people in it, and all of them made sense.
Yeah, over the course of the whole show, he gets fucked up a lot. Like, there are many times in which he's in a fight and he just doesn't win. He just straight up doesn't.
Yeah.
It's absolutely bananas. But after that, we get the, it's fairly short, but quite good arc about them going to get their boy Killua back because he left them, you know? He goes to the manor, Jackson. They go to the manor, and we get a big old scene that you have referenced many a time.
Yeah. I have mentioned this scene many times. It's the fucking door.
Yeah, it's a fucking door, Jackson.
It is the door. I can't believe these dudes, like, their whole ass job is just to guard this fucking door of a family of elite assassins.
Right?
That sounds comfy as hell.
Which is very strange, by the way. The Zoldyck family very much so does not seem like they need guarding whatsoever.
Not a chance. I mean, I think it's extremely unlikely that anything even gets past their guard dog.
Yeah.
Which is a horrifying monstrosity if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, I think the 2011 version does do it quite well, but in the original, it's like spookily scary. The fucking guard dog that they have. Let's see if I can pull up a picture for you. Family.
Please
dog.
do. Yeah, it looks horrifying, like slightly in the dark, and then when you actually gotta like see it like in light, it wasn't that scary. It was kind of cartoony almost, but still very unsettling. And then seeing it again later in the show with Killua like brushing it off. He's like talking to his dad about Alaka. Very strange. Not a fan of that creature at all.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Here we go. It doesn't look as great when it's a still image, but I think it'll still kind of get the point across. There you go. There you go, my guy.
Yeah, it's pretty terrifying.
Right.
Then also the whole door thing, going back to it. Is this the strategy for gaining strength quickly? Just wearing and lifting heavy shit constantly in your day-to-day life?
You know, I'm not entirely sure. I don't know too much about strength training and stuff like that, but I definitely think it's worth a shot. You know, you and I have we've been trying to bulk up a bit here recently, and I think we can try it. We can definitely give it a shot, you know?
Yeah, I think the strategy is literally just replace every single normal appliance we use and it's attached massive fucking weights to it, or just substitute them for the heaviest thing we can possibly get. Wake up in the morning, carry your 50-pound cup of coffee out to the couch, you know? Pick up your 100-pound remote, watch some TV, open your door.
Well, yeah, you gotta just normalize the weight, man. You gotta just normalize it in your life.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Apparently, then you'll be able to open a door. Also, the whole door thing, I felt like they didn't show how strong Killua was. I mean, they really tried to show that Killua was like insanely strong compared to the trio prior. Like Killua could open like the level 3 door, and they could barely open up one with 3 of them. But then Killua, it seems like very on par throughout the rest of the show, which is always kind of weird. Like, I feel like he never really demonstrated the fact that he had like a substantial gap over Gon in any regard, really. Maybe that was just me, though.
I mean, I think that part of the reason that might be is just due to the fact that, like, I don't know, Gon and Killua aren't really, like, rivals in this at all.
No.
Like, in a normal, like, shonen, they would very much so be built up to be, like, rival characters. But no, in this, they're just friends, you know? They're just pals.
Yeah, they're just a couple of dudes hanging out, going on a journey with each other.
They don't fight each other at any point. So we never really get that great gauge of strength as to how strong each other are. Especially when we get later, there's a very good reason as to why it makes it feel as though they're more so on par with one another, which I guess we can just kind of get right into. After they grab good old boy Killua, Gon and him go off to the big old fucking tower, the Tower of Heaven or whatever.
That they do.
Yeah, so that they can train their bodies up and earn a little fucking money.
Yeah.
And during this time is when we get introduced to what is possibly the greatest power system in all of anime, Jackson.
That is definitely arguable. I think it's interesting, but I have a lot of gripes with how Nen exists.
Yeah. So, because Gon and Killua end up needing to learn how to use Nen, because otherwise if they don't do it, they'll just fucking die in the tower.
Yeah, I mean, they also...
I think it definitely...
They can't even, like, get to the top floor without using Nen, right? Like, that was, like, a requirement.
Exactly. They get to a certain point in which they just cannot progress throughout the rest of the floor and, like, get to their rooms or whatever the fuck if they cannot learn how to use Nen, because otherwise the other Nen users will just fucking kill them. And I think that definitely serves to equalize the two of them a lot better.
Yeah, because then they get they get like normalized pretty much because their physical strength doesn't matter anymore. It's mostly about improving their Nen at that point.
Exactly. Except for Gon, because, you know, his whole thing is about improving his strength.
Yes.
And yeah, we get to learn all about fucking Nen, Jackson. It's fucking dope. It's Josu as hell. JoJo's, get out of the way. Dragon Ball, we don't need you. Mashoko Tensei, these power systems don't mean anything, Jackson. It's all about Nen. It's always been about Nen.
Do you think Nen is legitimately a comprehensive power system? Like, do you think it's like a really good power system?
Yeah, I'd say so.
I think it definitely falls in line to the random bullshit go mentality where they don't really know how to... Like, I think the idea behind Nen makes sense, but in execution, specifically just like the abilities thing, makes no fucking sense to me. Like, for example, Knuckles' ability, how the fuck does something like that even come to be? Like, where does that ever come into play? Like, how do you even make something like that? What are the limitations behind making that ability? Could he have made it less biased? Could he have made it easier to use or more overpowered? There's a lot of things like that. Like the fucking cheetah dudes, like the Chimera cheetah guy, his ability could very easily have been way stronger than he made it to be. Is it that easy to like just like workshop it? Like how did he even come to be? There's a lot of questions I have about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the way I kind of interpret it is that, like, the more limitations and shit like that you put onto it, like, I think that you can sort of just, like, finagle these kinds of things into, like, being if you're, like, put in the work into it, especially if you have, like, the correct Nen type or whatever, or if you just place a bunch of regulations on yourself and you just kind of say fuck it and make whatever you want.
Makes sense, but also doesn't. I definitely turned my brain off with the Chimera Ant arc specifically because that's when it really showed that a lot of Nen abilities are just like, what's the most outlandish thing I can possibly think of as a fucking ability? And here it is.
I mean, do you have that similar sort of frame of mind when you're watching something like JoJo and their sort of powers that they're able to come up with?
I've literally never seen JoJo before, so I have I have no comment. I mean, this is definitely a thing that other shonens do. I can't think of another one off the top of my head, but like where they just like have like unique abilities to themselves that don't really relate to anything. I don't know. Kind of weird. I don't really like that type of power system. I do like the idea behind Nen in general. I think it's cool. The special abilities like the only thing I really have a gripe with.
Gotcha. Okay. I don't know. I really dig it. I like being able to... I like it when they're just able to come up with all these very unique ways of fighting each other, you know?
Yeah, like using bungee gum, dude.
Exactly, dude. We get to learn about fucking bungee gum in this Tower of Heaven arc, or whatever the hell it's called, which is Hisoka, the most feared man. His ability is bungee gum. It has all of the properties of both rubber and gum, Jackson. Can you believe it?
I've never been more let down learning about a character's powers before than learning about Hisoka's, to be honest.
Why is that, Jackson?
When I think of badass assassin murder clown, I don't think bungee gum. I think he's got like fucking ultra speed and he makes knives out of his fucking fingers or some shit. I don't know.
Honestly, I think it's very fitting for his character. However, a bunch of the stuff that like both Hisoka as well as Killua did like earlier in the series, they very much so seem like, oh, this is a Nen thing, but it definitely wasn't. Like Hisoka straight up turns a man into cards or some shit like that. And then there's that shit with Killua just like doing that weird walking in a circle thing. Like those definitely feel like they have to do with Nen.
But they're not.
Yeah, it certainly makes you realize, oh yeah, Nen was certainly an afterthought that he just came up with during this specific arc.
Yeah. Also, speaking of Hisoka again, what the fuck was up with that thing that he did during it was like the Battle Royale part of the training arc? Or he just went like fucking like psycho that like one time, and then he just never does that again. What the fuck was that? Is that ever explained?
Yeah, he just started getting real randy, dude. He just really wanted to kill a child, but he knew that he couldn't do it yet, so he just had this real bloodlust overtake him, man.
There we go. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, this is another instance, Jackson, in which we see that the author just does not care about what direction you're expecting the story to go in, because of course, when viewers are presented with this scenario in which the main characters see this massive tower that have these floors of just ever progressing foes for them to fight, you'd think that they'll be like, okay, yeah, let's make it to the top of this tower. Once they learn about Nen, they're like, all right, fuck this, I think we're good, and they just leave.
I am not convinced that the author does not have overwhelming ADHD, and he literally just starts writing about the next thing that catches his eye and immediately drops the thing he's already working on.
It's entirely possible.
I legitimately subscribe to the theory that he would have continued the whole Heaven's Tower bullshit and then went all the way to another tournament arc if he didn't just think of another idea to do in the meantime. He was just like fighting for time until they're like, yeah, that's a good time. Let's skedaddle onto something more interesting.
I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I think he's very purposeful with that kind of stuff. There are certainly parts of the series that were definitely not planned, like Nen, but there are other parts where it's like, okay, yeah, I think he knows exactly what he's going for here, and he's having a little laugh, you know? He's just having a little laugh is all.
Yeah. Alright, what the fuck's the next arc after the tower one? I literally can't even remember.
You can't remember. It's what many claim is the best arc, Jackson.
Oh, is it the York New one?
That's right, my man. That's right.
Yeah. Making the enemies, not the enemies specifically, because I don't think they're trying to be framed as that. But what's the Phantom Troop?
That's right.
They like really tried to romanticize the Phantom Troop quite a bit. Like to the honestly, you were very, very close into like seeing what's actually going on with them. You see everything they do during this arc, their motivations, all this shit. And I don't know, it kind of seemed like they were trying to not make them seem as bad as they actually are, but maybe that's just the author trying to just... I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird how they're just like very, very blatantly just showing these people just going around doing the most heinous fucking shit and nothing really comes of it.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily like trying to romanticize them at all. I think of it more as so like just trying to show you what life is kind of like for these characters and where they're specifically coming from.
And they're coming from like, wanting to murder and get money.
You spend a lot of time with them throughout this arc, and so you just got he just really wants you to feel like you're a member of the troop, you know, like you understand what their whole deal is by the end of it.
Yes. Their deal is that they're raging assholes. I feel like I took it a lot differently than most people do, to be honest.
They just want to fuck shit up, Jackson. That's the thing. They just really want to cause chaos and shit, and not really give a gosh darn about what the government thinks.
Yes. I also feel like this arc was very good about showing the tone of the show in general. Specifically, it really got me with the scene where they literally just commit mass murder in the auction and then just suck up all the fucking dead dudes on the ground. That kind of fucked me up. I was like, damn, they really just killed like a couple hundred people in a fucking room. Yeah. Just gunned them all down and then it was just over. That was very, very strange to me. And then...
Yeah, I will say upon my first initial viewing, that part where the fucking big ass dude with like the detachable fingers or whatever just has those bad boys pop off and just fucking murders everybody. It really, that one really got to me, my man.
Yeah, that caught me off guard a little bit. And I mean, I think the same thing happens pretty much later on too, except with them fighting the police or whatever. But yeah, that arc was interesting. I definitely. I'm probably in the minority here, but I definitely prefer Gon and Killua as protagonists over Kurapika.
Okay. Yeah, I know that when Tanner was initially watching through that arc for the very first time as well. I don't know why I keep saying watching through, whatever. When he had initially watched it, he had mentioned that, like, man, why the fuck is Kurapika not the main character of the show? Because honestly, Kurapika is pretty fucking cool, okay? He's kind of based, alright? He just wants to kill spiders, and that's about it. That's something I can get behind, my man.
He's very motivated and is wanting to murder these people. Which I get, because they murdered his people.
Yeah, like...
I don't know. He seemed a little bit too edgy for me. I don't know.
Gotcha. Yeah, this is definitely another instance where it does feel like the author is just kind of jumping around a little bit in terms of, like, things you kind of think will be important, but end up having absolutely zero significance whatsoever throughout the rest of the series.
Yep.
Specifically, the thing that comes to mind during this arc is Gon and Killua learning about, like, relics or some shit like that.
Yep.
Do you remember this? They learn about, like, pottery.
That they do. They learn the market economy, and then it just never happens again. They also... The Phantom Troop, like, also... I mean... A little bit, they come up a little bit again with the gang war shit in the end of the manga, but the Phantom Troop doesn't really have any significance after this arc as well. I mean, there's only the Chimera Ant arc and some
yeah,
manga
the Phantom
stuff,
Troop
but...
does have a lot more significance as the series actually progresses, but for quite a bit, they don't do too much else. They're kind of just off in the background, and they'll just occasionally pop up, so you can keep in mind, like, oh yeah, these people are definitely still out there, and it appears like they're still doing a lot of different stuff right now.
They're still fucking shit up the works.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you think they seemed shoehorned into the Chimera Ant arc?
There definitely was no reason for them to appear other than just, like, to remind you that they exist.
Yeah, they're like, alright, so you've seen our current protagonists fight the Chimera Ants. Let's see these guys so you can still remember that they're still ultra badasses.
I definitely did think that was helpful to just kind of get you a little more familiar with some of the other members who hadn't really gotten to see what they were capable of yet. But we're currently skipping over one of the other...
Fuck that arc.
Just completely skipping over one of the other arcs. Greed Island, Jackson.
Yo, I keep forgetting that arc exists because I fucking hated that shit. That shit was mid as fuck.
It's unanimously considered probably the weakest arc of the whole series, so that's understandable.
I literally wanted to drop the show when I was watching that arc. I was so fucking bored, completely unironically.
But this is where the boys get to do some card collecting, Jackson.
Nothing matters. that was literally my biggest problem. Just nothing fucking matters.
So when I had first watched, because I watched everything dubbed, when I had watched the original Hunter x Hunter, I didn't realize that there was a 2011 version.
Oh, shit.
And so, yeah, it just kind of ended after the York New arc, and everyone was like, man, we're gonna have so many cool new adventures together, guys, and then it just ends there. And so it wasn't until years later where I found out there's a 2011 version of the show, and so I started checking that out. And by the time I finished it, it ended in, like, the exact same place. And little did I know, Jackson, the reason for that is because the dub was still going, apparently. So when I started watching the dub, it was, like, just started Greed Island. So I had essentially just watched through everything I'd already seen, and now I had to wait week to week to watch the rest of the show. And yeah, my first introduction for that was Greed Island, which was a very strange experience, my man.
Yeah.
Because, boy, was that... there are many things that Greed Island does do well. Like, we get to see a lot more about Nen. We get introduced to Gon and Killua's new teacher, Bisky. She's pretty cool, you know. We get to check out Killua's electricity, Jackson. He gets electric powers now.
He does. He can zap people now. It's crazy.
Yeah, you remember when he used yo-yos during that arc, and then he just didn't again?
I mean, he used yo-yos in the Chimera Ant arc a little bit.
Did he?
But yeah, he used them against the fucking hands guy. You know the hands guy?
I don't remember the hands guy now.
The partner Arrow or something? The partner to Knuckles?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, he fought against him with the yo-yos, and then he used them very briefly when he was encountering Palm again. Is her name Palm? I don't even fucking know. The chick that got turned into an ant. Very briefly against her, but yeah, they're definitely not a mainstay ability now that he's got the Godspeed thing. I think that definitely overrode it.
Yeah, and do you remember Gon's fucking... why can't I not remember the name of it right now? Fish thing.
Fish thing?
Yeah.
No.
Fishing pole, that's what it is.
Fishing pole. The fishing pole just completely gets thrown out the window. Never see that shit again. Fuck.
Yeah, by the time he learns Nen, the fishing pole is not a factor at any point.
I was really shocked that he didn't have his ability relate to something with the fishing pole. It was just completely like, okay, you're gone. Adios.
Yeah, no. In typical shonen protagonist fashion, Gon's Nen ability is like the most boring of the entire bunch.
He punches
because
people.
Why need an interesting ability when you can just punch your problems away, Jackson?
That's facts. The dude does punch his problems away quite effectively.
Yeah. And so, during this arc, we get to see fucking, I don't know, Razor was probably the best part of it, the whole dodgeball tournament that they had.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they get to team up with Hisoko and shit, but other than that, the Bombers stuff was kind of whatever. I didn't really care too much for it.
I still don't know why they did the whole Bombers thing. What was the point of that? Like, what?
They needed an antagonist.
Why did they need an antagonist? Because it would have been boring otherwise, because they knew their writing for the arc was awful. Listen, I think, hey, how about this? How about we skip over this arc and we go to a fun one?
Oh yeah, don't worry. I was definitely planning on not talking about that like anymore.
Huge.
Yeah.
I'm sure we had.
This is where we get to Chimera Ants, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure we had plenty more to talk about it anyways. Chimera.
Fuck yes, Jackson. Fuck yes. Chimera Ants.
Yes. I thought this arc started out stupid as fuck, and then I only really started liking it about when they started planning on raiding the base.
Mm-hmm.
I literally thought most of it was weird and stupid as fuck up until that point. Also, I kept constantly trying to figure out who the two kids that died were, and also who Gyro was, and
yeah,
you only find the girl in the end. Every single time I made a guess, it was wrong. It was truly unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, so this arc starts off a bit slow, I would say. Like, yeah. It's by far the longest arc in the entire series.
It's like 60 episodes.
Yeah, it is significantly longer than any of the others. And you can definitely feel it at points. Especially early on, I think they could have done with a bit of trimming. But at the same time, I enjoyed the journey throughout the whole thing, so I didn't really care too much, I didn't care too much, Jackson. But, yeah, I think it's pretty cool. So, very early in the arc, you get to just watch as this whole village just gets fucking murdered. And these two children just get gobbled up, which has horrible ramifications for the rest of the arc.
Yep.
Because this is what leads to the ants being like, holy shit, these humans are amazing. We gotta eat more of these people. And yeah, you do get to see the boy throughout most of the arc. He pops up quite a bit here and there. He ends up being that little bird man.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, who his sister was like...
Wait, was the boy actually the bird dude? Because I figured...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
I figured that's who it was, but I don't think we ever got confirmation of that. I literally thought it was the fucking... the boyster dude at the very end, too. I was like, no way, is it the fucking machine gun crab thing?
I don't think it was him.
No, it definitely wasn't him, but I was still thinking like, damn, could have been.
No, it was the bird dude because of some stuff that happens like way later. But, fuck, I completely lost my train of thought there now.
What were we talking about?
Fuck, dude, I don't remember now. When it comes to this arc, every time we mention anything, they're just gonna be fucking hundreds of other topics I want to launch into, and so it's really difficult to come up with a good frame of mind of where we should be progressing here.
Yeah.
So Kite got reintroduced, Jackson.
He did, man. He totally did, and then he fucking died.
Yeah. The big that's the big reason why watching the original is preferable, because otherwise you get zero attachment to Kite whatsoever, and Gon being so angry about his death gets a little strange.
Yeah, I legitimately forgot that Kite saved his life back in the day. I was the entire time after Kite died and Gon's like whole existence was just hell bent on murdering Pito. At that point, I was like, why the fuck is this kid so angry? He hung out with this dude for like 2 days. He wasn't even like a teacher. Would he have reacted this harshly if like Biscuit died? And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I forgot he like saved his life and all that. And also like was his father's pupil. Oops.
I do actually think that he would react that horribly if Biscuit also died. Because one thing that we see about Gon throughout pretty much the whole series is that he's kind of a psycho.
Yeah, he's pretty unhinged.
Like before even like the big shit happens later in the Chimera Ant arc, Gon seems to, like, not care about human life whatsoever. Like, with your normal shonen protagonist, they care so much about humanity, okay? Every single life matters. They just want to be good and save everyone. Gon does not care.
Yeah, he is.
Like, when people are dying around him, he does not flinch whatsoever. It's only when it's somebody who Gon has formed an attachment with is when he starts to care at all. Like, even the serial killer who they were training with during the Greed Island arc, Gon came to care about because he was useful to Gon.
Yeah. That whole part was actually hilarious too, where there's just like some random dude they basically just kidnapped to be their training slave until he fucking dies. Yeah. That was really funny.
Yeah, but Gon wanted to make sure he didn't die because, you know, they're pals now. They're pals.
Makes sense.
And yeah, over the course of this arc, you get to witness as Gon's new mentor just kicks the bucket. Like, this is actually the first time I believe Gon kills anybody was during this arc. It was that fucking armadillo thing that he just crushed in his bare hands that he just gave a mighty hug to, you know?
Yep, that did happen.
Yeah. And, you know, shortly after all that, once Kite is dead, they get to meet some cool new characters, Jackson. Some cool new characters. You like Knuckle, Jackson? Are you a big Knuckle fan?
He's alright.
Right? Knuckle's alright. His other pal, the Hand Guy. How do you feel about Hand Guy?
He's not alright. I think he definitely gets redeemed a little bit when he overcomes being a bitch when they're in, like, the raid part. But, yeah, he's still kind of stupid.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that you'll see throughout a lot of this arc, is that I think this was something that you had touched on when we had talked about Hunter x Hunter previously, in that it feels like not much is really happening during this arc, and there are very arbitrary things being done, but they just all kind of come together and really pay off in the end of it. And so, for example, Jackson, this isn't a really fantastic example, but...
Lay it on me.
We get the character of Palm, who also gets introduced around here. The fucking insane lady.
Complete psychopath.
She just really wants to murder Gon and Killua, you know? She just wants to fucking kill him, dude.
She does, and then she doesn't, and then she does, and then she doesn't. Then that's her arc.
And then she falls in love. She falls in love with Gon, dude.
What are the implications behind this relationship? I was shocked when you told me that apparently Gon just, like, took out older women because they, like, are visiting his island. That was shocking information. This man's got more experience than me.
Yeah, Gon lives on Epstein's little fucking island, dude.
Yep.
That was such a great moment during the show when Gon is going on his date with Palm, and Killua's like, "What? You're going out on a date with a woman?" Gon's like, "Of course, I go on dates with lots of ladies. Back on the island, I've gotten a ton of experience with women."
He's like, what?
Yeah, what are the implications when Gon says a ton of experience?
He's making out with MILFs, dude. All the time.
Yeah, who's to say? Who's to say, dude? But at the end of the day, what really matters during this arc, Jackson, what really matters are the ants, because that's what the arc is about. Ants.
They're all dudes.
Yeah, all of them are men. That is an important thing that people need to get through their noggins. All of the ants are men. If it's not the queen, it is a man. I don't care if Scorpion or Spider Lady or some shit have big ol' tits. They are a man.
And that's just the facts. Pito.
Yeah, that's just a fact.
Pito literally has tits in the anime and no tits in the manga, and they're a dude. That's just how it works.
Exactly, dude, exactly. Jackson, would you have sex with Pito? Yes or no?
Figuring they are both a monster and also a man, I have to say no.
Understandable. Now, I think it's really just the legs that throws me off too much on Pito.
They got some fucking thunder thighs, man. They literally expand to like 3 times the size of a normal person's thigh. They're crazy.
Yeah, they're also like weirdly segmented still, like a bug's legs are, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange. It's very strange. Too much for me. Too much.
They also only have 4 fingers on each hand, man. That's fucked up.
Yeah, that is very strange. So that was probably a good time to talk about the, like, you know, what are they called? They're called bodyguards, right? Is that what they call them?
The royal...
Or generals or some shit
Royal
like that?
guardsmen, maybe?
Royal Guards, yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, so the thing that irks me the most about them when they were first introduced, Jackson, is how fucking stupid their names are.
I literally can't even remember either of them except for Pito. But yeah, all three of them are really stupid. Their abbreviations are much better, but like Pito's name is Nefem Pito. Let me see if I can get the other ones because they're all really stupid as well. The other ones are like Poof and Youppi. Yeah.
It's like Shia Poof, I think is his name. I don't remember Youppi's though. Royal Guards. Yeah, let me see here real quick. Yeah, it's Youppi.
Who thought these were
I wonder why they never called him that.
It's a mouthful, clearly.
Yeah, it most certainly is. Yeah, Jackson, who would you say was your favorite Royal Guard?
That's a hard one. I kind of like. It's really hard to not say Pito is my favorite guard because I think they've got a cool design. Their personality is pretty cool. I think fucking Poof is my least favorite, definitely, but it's definitely a toss-up between Red Dude because he ended up becoming cool as fuck in Pito. It's probably like a two-way tie, and then in 10th place is Poof. Yeah,
that's definitely one of the best parts about this arc is seeing just how much growth pretty much every character goes through during it is truly a sight to behold, I must say. Like, not even just the main characters, but the enemies especially have so much going on with them.
Yeah.
Pito, for example, she ends up he, I guess.
Blunder. Your inner desires are seeping out, Nico.
He ends up learning about like compassion and shit like that, growing closer to humans and all that kind of shit. Youppi ends up learning about fucking honor and all that kind of jazz. He gets that like sort of battle honor, like, you know what, humans are kind of trash, but you guys are all right. You guys are strong. I can respect that, okay? And then Poof never changes. He's also there.
Poof literally never changes. He absolutely gets no growth the entire time. He's just a standstill of I fucking hate humans and I want the king to murder all of them. Something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Poof is still important though, because he serves as a really great gauge of seeing just how much the king is changing.
Yes.
Because Poof wants the king to be just like a very stoic individual who's essentially a god to them. That is what Poof views the king as, whereas, while he may start like that, he's definitely not infallible, and we get to see that as the arc progresses, with a very important character who we'll get to later. So yeah, those are the Royal Guards out of the way. Now, you mentioned Cheetah Boy. Is he cool, Jackson? Are you down with Cheetah Boy?
That guy's a fucking dumbass. I don't think I like any of the ants, to be completely honest. I think all of them are really insufferable, except for maybe the wolf guy. The wolf guy is kind of cool. I fuck with the wolf guy. Everybody else is a dick.
Yeah, you didn't like the little octopus, Jackson?
No, he was kind of stupid. I honestly, when we got to like the initial part, but like before the raid happened, I kind of started zoning out, so I literally didn't even know where the fucking octopus guy came from. He just started following around Killua, and I was like, who the fuck is this octopus guy? It's literally my exact reaction. Like, where the hell did this guy come from? Why is there an octopus like this just friends with Killua now? Well, no. That's probably not even my fault that I don't like him as much as it is. It's literally just, I have no fucking idea who he is or where he came from. I didn't even know he was an ant until later.
Yeah, we also get to meet several other very important characters as well, Jackson. Like Sunglasses Guy, what's his name? Moro, I think? He's got the big-ass smoke pipe.
Oh yeah, Morel. Morel's pretty cool. I like Morel.
Yeah. And then, what's the other dude? What's Glasses Guy called?
Not important. He's Glasses Dude with a suit that turns into Kaneki with his white hair.
Yeah. So, fun fact, Jackson. Fun fact. Dylan said that was his favorite character.
The dude with the suit?
Yes.
No shot.
Dylan's an interesting individual.
What did he like about him? I have to know. This is fascinating to me.
I don't even think he was really able to explain it to me. I think that his inclusion in the story is important.
I agree
because he's
too.
He's very serious, you know. He's very serious, a very special young lad who don't take no shit. He's one of the big important hunters, and then you get to see just how horrible of a threat these ants are. Because the moment he senses like the king's aura or whatever, he just becomes an absolute mess. He just can't handle it anymore.
Yep. It wasn't.
He just complete.
He didn't even. It wasn't even the king's aura, right? He literally sensed like poops, right?
Yeah, I think it was like one of the guards. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate.
Quite.
So yeah, as we get on here, Jackson, as we get on to the raid of the kingdom. Or castle. I guess not kingdom. The castle raid. We get to see a ton of cool shit happen, dude. So much cool shit is breaking down. This is where like the fucking narrator really goes into overdrive. He's got to be there so that you fully understand, Jackson, just how little time is passing between each episode.
Yes.
It's like fucking 6 episodes go by. And then the narrator just says at the end of the episode, 6 seconds have passed.
Yeah. I get why they had the narrator, but I still find it incredibly grating, and it literally just made me think that they're like trying to explain every little detail about the show because I just was too stupid to understand it. But honestly, it's because just so much was fucking happening in such a tiny space of time that they can't physically show it. Still, It was still very, very weird and also very pacing changing. Like literally the whole show like turned into like a different fucking show for like 15 episodes straight and then went back to normal.
Yeah, it was absolutely bonkers, dude. Fucking bonkers. I loved it though. I loved every second of it. Don't trim any of it. Even the shit with Octopus Boy having a standoff with the fucking lobster were important. It was all crucial to the final build-up of the entire fucking arc, dude. Like the Shogi girl, is that the game they were playing? What game were they playing, Jackson? Was it Shogi?
I have literally no idea. All I know is that her name's Kamagi, right?
I believe so. That sounds about right. So, the big-ass, badass king of the Chimera Ants decides that during his pastime, he's just going to play some board games with the experts, all the greatest board game players in the world. And of course, he's just able to destroy all of them in absolutely no time because his brain is just that big, dude. His brain's just that big. But alas, he cannot defeat this little girl. He just can't do it.
Remind me again, why the fuck did he even decide to do that? What was his reasoning behind doing that? Pass the time?
Yeah. So, yeah, he didn't really have much to do during that time because they were waiting for some reason. I don't remember why exactly. They were just kind of waiting around. But yeah, they're just kind of just chilling, and he was like, okay, well, I want to test my intellectual ability because I'm obviously very powerful physically, so let's see how I match up against like humans and all this other shit. So he goes for it, and yeah, he's just able to conquer everybody. Yeah, dude, yeah,
makes sense.
Exactly.
I do like Meruem is absolutely the savior of that arc for me, though. His whole, literally, I think the thing that made me want to keep getting through the arc and grinding it so much, I definitely started slacking on it a bit, up until the point where he had like a little bit of humanity show, like in that one scene where he like starts talking about like almost like not being addicted to humans and then immediately flip-flops back into being addicted to humans, like mid-conversation.
When does that happen?
It was like after a game of Shogi or whatever the fuck they were playing with Kamagi. I can't remember exactly when it was, but he basically like gathers all the guards. He's gonna like, I think he's trying to get the, what's it called, thing to happen sooner, the sorting, and
yes.
Yeah, and then like he almost expresses like a little bit of compassion, and Poof's like screaming on the inside about it. He's like, I want to fucking kill this kid, and then he immediately goes back to being like, yeah, let's kill these fucking humans. But that little tiny sign was like the catalyst, me thinking, damn, okay, this might actually turn cool, and then it did. Meruem's sick as fuck.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. You get to witness as this absolute monster, complete like in total threat to humanity, ends up becoming a lot more human over the course of the arc, as well as this bright-eyed little shonen boy becoming an absolute monster.
Yes.
Yeah, just that parallel is fantastic to witness. And, yeah, dude, yeah, I just love it so much. I fucking love it. So, we get a bunch of really dope-ass fights here, and one of the real standout ones is with fucking Yuppie as well as Knuckle, and then Killua jumping in as well with them, you know? Like, when Killua gets to really show off what he's capable of with that Godspeed and shit, it's so cool, Jackson. It's so fucking cool, dude.
It is, I agree. I mean, his punches were basically doing nothing to the dude, but it was still very cool to see that he just was completely overpowering this fucking thing.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And then as we progress a little more, you know, we get to see Poof do some shit. Not much, but he's definitely doing some shit. He makes like little baby versions of himself. It's weird as hell.
Yep. I do.
He's able to like, what is it? He's able to like make them so small that he's able to just like go through the fog, yeah, or whatever, go through like the fog molecules.
Apparently, he can literally turn himself like as small as atoms, or like he can split himself up enough to the point where he's like smaller than fucking atoms. But yes, that does happen.
Yeah. And then we also get to see the big standoff, dude. Because during their raid, they end up accidentally hurting Komagi. Very badly, in fact.
Yes.
And because of this, Meruem requires Pito to like heal her with his ability. And so during this time, our little boy God finds him, Jackson. He finds the one who killed Kite.
That he does. And they're just chilling, completely exposed because their net ability fucking blows.
Yeah, like, unfortunately, Pito isn't really able to do much else while they're healing folks, so they kind of just have to chill there as Gon just stares them down.
I honestly thought that scene was supposed to be like really serious, but I honestly thought that entire situation was just really funny. Like every time it swamped to Pito just like freaking out, sweating, and Gon just like death staring them was fucking hilarious to me.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Truly.
But it also just really, it really showed, Jackson. It really started to show just how far Gon is starting to fall, you know? He don't care about this young, injured girl. He just wants to fucking get revenge, dude.
He was gonna bash this chick's skull in.
Yes.
To get a punch in on Pito. He did not give a shit.
Yeah, absolutely not. And yeah, eventually, Jackson, we're able to get a couple of really back-to-back, just bangers of fights, okay? Just bangers. As the chairman of the Hunter Association himself confronts Meruem, and they have their own jolly little duel, my man.
That they do, and it was pretty cool. I like that fight a lot. Probably the best fight in the show for me.
Just the way it starts off with like, because like Meruem is wanting to find a peaceful solution to all of this, is the thing. But humanity don't want that, Jackson. Yeah. They don't like the idea that there's something out there that threatens their lives.
They want them fucking dead.
Exactly. Which is just a fantastic dichotomy you get to see. Especially with like, I don't remember how exactly he says it, but the chairman has a really great line about humanity somewhere in there. Fuck, Jackson, why can't I remember it?
I know the quote you're talking about, but I also cannot remember it either. It's like the thing he says before he blows himself up.
Exactly.
I do like that quote too. I don't know what the quote is, but I know what the quote is, and I like it. Big fan.
Oh well, if you've seen the show, you know what we're talking about. It's dope as fuck.
If you haven't, just imagine that it's dope as fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, they get their big ass fight. He gets a holy, I don't know what word I'm thinking of right now. He gets like a big old Buddha statue though that just fights with him.
Yes.
He's a stand user, Jackson. He's just a stand user, and throughout the entire course of the fight, as he's doing all this cool shit, he just cannot do anything whatsoever to Meruem.
Literally just swatting a fly, and the fly just keeps going back at him just constantly. And I think the whole point of the fight too is like it's all happening so fast. Like the fight was probably like less than a minute of him just constantly fucking smacking at him like every microsecond.
Yeah.
Pretty nuts. Meruem's an animal.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Jackson, he just kind of needs to risk it all. He put like a fucking nuclear bomb into his chest to explode in case anything, like if things went south and he couldn't kill the king. And unfortunately, he definitely can't do that. By the end of their fight, he's just this withering husk of a man. And so he just needs to let that baby explode. And shockingly, it actually does kill the king.
Yeah, I was really shocked by that too. I literally thought it was going to do nothing to him.
Yeah. Which is very strange. Like, I don't know. When I see his characters, I think of them being like, I don't know, definitely being able to like absolutely tank like a mortar shell or some shit like that. But I don't know. It kind of seems like they might not be able to. Like, they might be a bit weaker than I have the impression of them actually being.
Yeah, like if just like a normal Nen user, like if they just get shot in the side of the head, like they're not like paying attention, like somebody's like trying to assassinate them, and they just like get shot in the side of the head. Will they die, or like will their Nen or whatever ability it is just like stop the bullet?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they will 100% just die from that.
Yeah, that shit's always crazy to me because I feel like that's always a trope in shonens too, where they're like just completely invulnerable to like anything outside of just getting their shit smacked up by somebody else that has the same abilities.
Yeah, I think that might slightly be due to like Dragon Ball. Like whenever I think of like characters with these weird shit that they're able to do, it's like, oh yeah, they can totally just blow up a planet or something, right? You know, that's a fairly like basically anyone in Dragon Ball can just blow up a planet.
Yeah, they're literally.
But it's like,
gods.
Oh yeah. It's weird to think that, yeah, Yamcha could probably just kill the king.
Yep.
But yeah, coinciding with this fight, we get to see just the absolute degradation of Gon's mental state. When he finally decides, you know what, I might not be able to beat Pito right now, but if I just make it so that, like, I age myself up, then I can kill Pito.
And that is facts, and that's exactly what he does. I was so confused when I was watching that scene, to be completely honest, until it like hit me.
What's confusing about it, my man?
Well, I just didn't know what like happened specifically. Like, why the fuck did Gon just turn into like this total animal all of a sudden? I didn't even realize it was like him like transferring himself to like a later point in his life, whatever.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like he made it so that he would be operating at like his peak throughout his whole life, but in exchange, he just dies.
Yes. I was also very caught off guard by that too. I was like, damn, okay, he's just fucking dead.
Were you aware that that was going to happen prior to seeing it, Jackson?
No, I was not. I was very caught off guard.
Okay.
This is also probably skipping ahead a little bit. You're running definitely pretty late into this though, but was Alaka put in specifically to be a cool theme as well as an asspool to get Gon out of literally no way of reviving?
Kind of. So, Killua is a character. We'll eventually get more into that, but Killua is a character who has been hinted at throughout pretty much the whole series. You'll see. I can't remember when exactly it is. It's during one of the like ending songs or whatever. Though they'll show like a picture of the whole Zoldyck family, and like off in the background you see like Killua basically. Not Killua.
Alaka.
Alaka with like her face obscured and shit like that. So her presence was definitely like planned. I don't know just how much of that was though.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is cool. I didn't know they showed her anywhere else. It is nice to know that. But yeah, no, kind of seemed like an asshole right off the bat. I was like, okay, they're introducing a character to revive Gon. Okay, thankfully that's not a thing.
But yeah, at the end of the arc, Jackson, the king is able to come back with the help of two of his subordinates. Yuppie and Poof are able to just bring him back to life by using up all their power or whatever. And now he's even stronger than he was before.
Yes. Speaking of that, though, I was pissed when I saw that revival thing initially. I was like, wow, they really just completely sacrificed the dude for nothing. Obviously, they make up for that. But the thing that was even more annoying to me at the time was Yo-Yo Yuppie, whatever, red dude. He, like, very clearly sacrifices a shit ton of his power. But, like, Poof doesn't, or at least it appears he doesn't, because he could still form, like, a whole-ass body. And, like, he's still apparently threatening because he's trying to fucking kill Killua and stuff. Like, he's still powerful enough to defeat them. Like, I feel like at least Poof didn't like get by with any consequences. Obviously he did because he fucking dies because of the Rose thing later. But that was very interesting to me too.
Yeah, they give a lot of elaboration. They talk about the Rose quite a bit, the nuclear bomb that they set off. They talk about quite a bit, like just how devastating this thing is and how it'll just like irradiate and kill anything that gets touched by it or whatever. And, you know, you don't really think too much of that, but whoo boy, does that have consequences down the line.
Quite.
So
completely flip-flops the arc for me.
Yeah.
Like
it shows you that, man, things really were planned.
Yes. Which is a very decent theme I've noticed with the show too, which is kind of counterintuitive to me with the ADHD comment prior. But it definitely, some things definitely seem like they have very long-term foresight with the decisions they're making, specifically with the Ant King arc.
Yeah, especially with that arc. Which, I mean, you know, thank God due to how long it is, but...
Yes, quite. That would have been catastrophic if the ending wasn't good for that arc.
Yeah, for all that payoff.
Yeah, the king ends up just dying to poison and uses his last remaining moments to play shogi with his underage babe.
How'd you feel about that part when he died there?
I think it's pretty wholesome. I think it's pretty cute.
Did it make you cry though, Jackson? Did it bring tears to your eyes?
No.
Okay. That's fair.
Definitely thought it was sad. Not sad enough to...
Yeah. It definitely got me in the feels a little bit, but I wasn't moved to tears quite like that.
Yeah, no, I thought that was a really cool scene. I appreciate how they portrayed Meruem in the end, because I definitely think he is the absolute superstar of that arc. I was just gonna say, you can actually go on. Never mind. I was gonna go off into a different tangent. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I do think it's interesting though that all of this happened specifically because of this one little kid that just is really fucking good. I honestly don't even think they're little kids. Aren't they like canonically like 16 or something? But regardless, it's just like one little fucking girl that's just super good at shogi completely throws a wrench in all of their arcs. Like imagine like she doesn't like get hit when Pito, like imagine like Pito's not like stuck trying to heal her for that entire thing. I feel like the arc would have been completely different if Pito just fucking wiped the floor with all the invaders there. And then immediately went to rescue them with the rest of the boys and just decimated Netero and probably got out of there quickly. Komaki really threw a wrench in the plans.
Exactly. Yeah, she was a very crucial character for the whole plot to just really get going, dude. Just really get going.
Yeah.
And, as we see it near the end of it, as things are wrapping up a tad, apparently Kite is back, Jackson. Kite has returned.
Yes. And he's a little girl now.
Yeah, exactly. So this is why I'm pretty sure that bird guy is the brother from the initial parts, is because I think that one of his deals is that he's trying to find his sister, and he's calling Kite his sister's name because he thinks that Kite is his sister, like the reincarnation of her or whatever.
When in fact it's the bug thing.
Exactly. It was the little like actual ant-looking creature.
Mm-hmm.
What about that? What's up?
I'm pretty sure we're about to talk about the same thing, but I was literally gonna say I legitimately think I felt more emotion with the return of the little girl to her family than I did with Meruem dying with Komagi.
Yes, we were going to mention the same thing then. Yes.
Yeah. I feel like I probably shouldn't have, and I feel like I probably took away things from the arc differently than I should have. But my mind was almost entirely, like throughout the whole arc, was just, who the fuck are the kids? Which one of these ants are the kids? Like that's all I cared about. Those kids died at the start, and I was like, there's no fucking way these kids are just gonna die, and like that's just it. They're definitely one of these ants, and they were. So when I found that closure for that little girl, I was like, let's fucking go.
Right. It was closure for her and you, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, and just the way that her village immediately accepts her back, and that her mom or whatever is able to recognize her, you know? Mm-hmm. It's so heartwarming, Jackson. It was so heartwarming, dude.
Truly.
Also, what the fuck is the deal with that one guy, Jackson?
What one guy?
There's nearly an entire episode dedicated to talking about some crime lord.
Oh, Gyro?
Who existed. Yeah, Gyro, who existed. And there's never any payoff for it.
Yeah, I imagine that's like one of those things where he's just setting up for the future, because apparently in the manga, there's like some, I don't know, there's something about Gyro like seeing Gon and Killua in the city when they're trying to like find Knuckle and Hand Sky. And like there's some commentary about it there, because apparently he turned into an ant, but like just immediately gained his memories and sentience back and just walked away from the colony and like just completely just didn't participate in this war whatsoever.
Yeah, there's a line like I don't know exactly how it's phrased, but yeah, when they miss each other, it's like these two characters did not meet each other on this day, but one day later when they do, hell will be raised or some shit like that.
Yeah,
it's like very ominous, like, oh, this is the final boss of the series.
Yeah, it was so weird though that they put all this time and effort into explaining Gyro, and then just nothing happens with him. Like I thought Meryl was Gyro, like for the entirety of the arc, until I like went and looked at the source material a bit more, like when I got into the manga. And then when he wasn't, I was like, who the fuck is this Gyro guy, and why did they adapt a whole episode? That makes no sense whatsoever. But whatever. Very interesting planning.
Yeah. Maybe we'll get elaboration on that in like 15 years or some shit like that.
Hasn't it been like a multi-year hiatus since the manga got a chapter?
Yes, we'll get into that in a little bit here, but yeah, it's been a time, dude. It's been a time. So, for the final arc, the election arc, it's all about politics, something that we love here at the channel, Jackson.
Big fan of politics.
Yeah, big fan of politics. You a big fan of Hunter politics, Jackson?
No.
Damn.
I'm gonna be completely honest. I think I was on my phone more than I was watching this arc during this arc.
Fuck, dude, fuck. Yeah, so during this arc, we get acquainted with Aluka, my man, with Killua's little sister. And, holy shit, dude. Holy shit. She's fucking terrifying.
That she is.
It genuinely took me aback when she, like, initially did, like, the fucking black eyes and shit thing.
Mm-hmm. And then just horror show just crushed the fucking girl.
Yeah, it just absolutely crushed a woman's skull.
Yeah, pretty freaky.
Yeah, it was terrifying. But yeah, you know what? At the end of the day, Kilo loves her, so that's good enough for us. So here's a fun fact actually for you, Jackson. Here's a fun fact for you.
Lay it on me.
If you're unaware, Aluka is actually a boy. Is something that comes up a few times in the show, because all of the family members except for Killua refer to Aluka as a boy.
Yeah, apparently they're legitimately like trans woman.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah, and this has this actually affects other family members as well, Jackson, because one of Killua's younger brothers, that's like constantly with their mom. If you'll notice, they also dress exactly like a girl as well, but you know they actually are a boy.
Yeah, no, I thought the kimono wearing chick that joined the Phantom Trooper like started following the ride. I totally thought that was a chick too. Nope, that's a dude.
Yeah,
went to the wiki and I was very shocked.
The reasoning for this is, Jackson. The reason for this is that they really want to be a lot closer to Killua, but they notice that Killua likes Aluka a lot more, and so they want to be like a girl, just like Aluka is, so that Killua will care about them.
That is some very interesting reasoning that I did not know about.
Right, dude, right? There's so much to these characters, Jackson. There's so much to them.
Truly, aren't they swell?
Oh, they're fantastic, dude. They're fantastic. I love these characters. I love Hunter x Hunter. That is the moral of this episode. We love Hunter x Hunter, Jackson.
What would you rate it out of 10?
Out of 10, I rate it Hunter x Hunter out of 10 because it is just that good. Let me go into my anime list to find out what I've rated Hunter x Hunter.
You have a My Animes list account?
I do have a My Anime list.
That's crazy.
Yeah, dude, yeah. It's fucking bonkers. But yeah, for the rest of this arc, though, you know, general politics stuff, wishing Kilo's older brother is fucking insane.
Yes.
And
then they stop hanging out, dude. They stop hanging out. That was like the big takeaway, is that Gon goes off on his own journey, and Killua goes off on his own journey with Aluka as well.
Right? Now, Jackson, real quick here. Who would you say was your favorite of the Zodiacs?
I don't think I particularly liked any of them, to be honest.
What?
You barely get any time to learn much about most of them except for Jing, I feel. Jing and Blondie are like the two that are...
Yeah, Periston.
Yeah, those are like the two that are the most deeply covered, and I think Periston's fucking awful. I mean, like, I get that's the whole point of him. He's kind of supposed to be like a shady dickhead. He's a rat.
Yeah. He's an absolute asshole.
And then Jing is...
But he's great, dude.
And
he's
then
great.
Jing's just a dumbass. So I don't particularly like any of them.
Damn. I liked Bunny Girl because she's super cute.
There we go. How about Snake Chick? You like Snake Chick?
Unfortunately not, no. Bunny Girl's the only one I really cared about.
I'm glad you didn't like Snake Chick. I would have been very shocked if you did.
2011 Hunter x Hunter, I gave a 10 out of 10, Jackson. I gave it a 10 out of 10. Original Hunter x Hunter, I gave a 9 out of 10.
Insane.
I gave it that because it's not finished.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah. It's what they deserve. Finish the show and I will give you your 10. So yeah, unfortunately, that is where the anime basically ends, though, Jackson. Gon gets to meet his father finally. They have a nice little reunion, dude. Gon climbs a big-ass tree. Mm-hmm. And we learn something amazing about the world, Jackson.
Birds.
Yeah, dude, we learn about birds.
What did we learn about?
So, the entire, like, Earth, basically, that the humans are aware of...
Oh, yeah, it's just like an island.
...are actually just like a small series of islands that are in a massive lake that are part of a fucking massive world where everything outside of them wants to can easily just kill all of them.
Yeah, the Dark Continent.
Yes, the Dark Continent. And we learn that those ants were from the Dark Continent. And that compared to the shit that exists there, they are a very low threat.
Yeah, there's like the 5 main things that came from the Dark Continent and just fucked shit up in the human world.
Yes. Something that gets expanded upon a little more as you get into the manga, where that's entirely about going to the Dark Continent, is that humanity had done like 5 expeditions there, and they brought back 5 horrible curses with them in doing so. And one of them, Jackson, was actually Aluka.
Oh.
Yeah. That spirit or whatever that possesses her, that's from the Dark Continent.
Oh, the A thing?
Yeah.
I do like, this is completely off topic, but I really like when Elika goes gate, or Nanika says gate.
Yeah, gate.
Gate. I don't know why I like that so much. Every time I said it, I'd like hit the rewind button and like listen to it like 5 times.
Yeah, it's very subtle. Like they don't tell you that explicitly that she's from there.
Yeah.
But they show like pictures of like each of the things that came from there, and one of them is like this dark mass sort of thing, and it just has like a little text bubble being like K.
Yep. Gay.
That's how you know, Jackson.
Unfortunate though. I mean,
yeah,
they're cute though, man. Nanika's cute, so like it's totally fine.
Yeah, dude, she's a cutie. Do you think that you're going to go ahead and check out the manga for Hunter x Hunter so you can know what happens after this?
I'm gonna be completely real with you. I impulsively watched a video yesterday that basically just explains everything that happened after the anime in the manga, and maybe I will just to like get more like in depth to it, but I already know everything that happens after it.
Gotcha.
Surface level, of course. So we go back to Kurapika being the main character for the arc, and yeah, shit gets really complicated really fucking quickly. Because the entire thing is just on a big ass boat, just a massive cruise ship that also looks like a whale. And it's basically an entire city is how big this thing is, okay? It's like 3 layers of cities. There's like multiple stacked like, on top of each other. Thousands of people or something in it, right?
Yeah. Like, it's massive. And also, on this boat is a war going on between for a kingdom.
Yeah, there's the fucking assassination things trying to kill all these princes and stuff.
Yes, so this kingdom is having a big-ass war going on the boat to determine who their next king will be. Which apparently happens every time they need a new king. Their current one just tells their children, hey, I need you to drink this soup so that you can get cool Nen powers. And also, you need to kill each other now.
That's a pretty metal way of doing it, though. Like, especially like what this king is like, alright, so I'm gonna send you all to this place where everybody fucking dies. Like, there's like almost no chance you guys all come back alive. Whoever does, you're the successor. That's a metal way of doing it, I have to say.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking bonkers. Like, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but there's one part of it that I just really, really liked. That just made me go, holy shit, dude, what the fuck is happening in this arc? So, amongst, like, the royalty, they're all called princes, even though they're boys and girls. There are these two princes who are these waymen. They're very close to each other. They're real pals. They don't want the other to die. They just want to get out of this alive, and they do not care about becoming the king whatsoever. And so, what they decide to do is one of them ends up getting a Nen ability through this whole process that allows them to essentially just like make a door to the other person. And so she makes a door, she goes to her, she's like, hey, we're getting out of here. I managed to figure out like an escape route. We can just like take a boat and get on out. So that's what they decide to do. They get out of there, they hop in a little boat, they start getting out of that big old ship. Then there's a tiny little escape pod. And as they're leaving, a bunch of fucking hands just start coming out of absolutely nowhere. And just start grabbing at all of them, okay? They're just grabbing these girls, trying to just tear them apart. And so the girl who's able to like make a door to places, she makes one so that they can escape. And so other girl gets through there. She makes it out all right. But then the door closes behind her. And there's just silence for a while. But then eventually, the wayman pops back out the door, Jackson. She pops back out, and she's like, hey, it's all good. I managed to escape. We're fine now. Let's go. We'll figure out another way to escape from this. Turns out, she didn't escape from it, Jackson. She fucking died. And this new one is just a manifestation of the other girl's Nen to make her not feel lonely.
That's really awful. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, it's fucked. Because apparently, if you try and leave the ship, due to like the whole way in which this royal procession takes place, if any royalty tries to leave, they die.
I'm gonna be honest, why couldn't they just tapped out? This is a really hardcore kingdom.
I believe that you are allowed to also just be like, hey, I don't want to do this or something like that. Maybe? No, I think that if you're on the ship, you just straight up get pulled into it. Never mind, because there's also a baby on the ship, who's one of the princes, and yeah, they're also there and just part of the whole death game. So, I guess you can't tap out of it. Never mind.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah. It sucks big time. Oh, and also the Chimera ants are on the ship, by the way.
Say what now?
Yeah. So the whole reason Kurapika is there in the first place is because one of the princes has the remaining scarlet eyes that he needs to retrieve. And that prince is also like the big bad one, who is definitely like the main bad guy of the arc. And so, yeah, he's there. And the Phantom Troop is also there because they... fuck, I forget why exactly they're there. I think they're just there to go to the Dark Continent. But yeah, they're present. And also, by the way, Hisoka is there. And Hisoka is there to kill the Phantom Troop.
Oh, yeah. Isn't that why they're there? Like, the Phantom Troop is there literally specifically because they're trying to hunt down Hisoka and kill him because he made an enemy out of them by killing two of their people?
That might be why they're there. I forget exactly what it was. I don't know. One of them is there because of the other. But yes. Yeah, Hisoka is there because he wants to kill all of the Phantom Troop members because it will make their leader easier to kill then.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, that's the show, Jackson. That's the show. That is Hunter x Hunter as we know it right now.
Yeah, that's the show and the manga. The works, if you'd say.
That's right. We didn't have to do the manga, but we did, just for you, audience. Just for you.
Yes, sir. If anybody's actually made it this far, I am truly impressed.
I'm sure Dylan did. Dylan usually watches the whole episode.
Dylan, you should subscribe to our Patreon.
Dylan, you should subscribe to our Patreon. Like, comment, and subscribe. Next time you see me, give me a hearty handshake, my man. And just remember, Dylan, you're the real G.
Yes, sir. You should, like, give Nico a free month of rent. Like, that'd be sick.
Also, give me a free month of rent. And I believe that's about it for the episode, Jackson. I believe that's about it for the episode. Is there anything you'd like to say to our beautiful, beautiful audience who stuck around like Dylan?
Fuck the police.
That's right. Fuck the police. Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.